All right, I'm back in the booth here for the Lorcanathon for Camp Opportunity, round number 4. And this time we get to see Jabba Blahut again, and he's going to be playing against Funny JK, aka Scott. So we got Regis versus Scott, those are their government names. And we have Funny JK versus Jabba Blahut, those are their anarchist names, if you will. Um, yeah, we saw Jabba Blahut playing earlier. I'm not going to give away his deck in case Scott is unaware. But Scott, we're seeing for the first time on stream. He's currently 4-0. Both these players are 3-0. This is round 4. Both these players are 3-0. So far so good. They're battling out for first place right now. They're trying to get to the top of the standings and win that first chapter booster box that is up for grabs. We got a lot of sweet prizes here donated from our sponsors, so I really appreciate them all pitching in and helping out. World Class Cards, McNamara, Game Haven, and Stevenson Games. If you're local to the DMV area, you can play Lorcana at Stevenson Games every Tuesday night and Game Haven every Friday night in the Baltimore County area. McNamara has an awesome event coming up on June 7th. They're hosting their next McNamara Invitational. That's going to be Set 8 legal for a mountain of Set 8 booster boxes. We got an aggro crags worth of Set 8 booster boxes that we're going to climb and see if you have it, the guts to win. But that's looking at then. Let's get back to now, and we have a Robin Hood versus a what I believe is a Pegasus. He's a little shiny. He's a little too shiny. He's a little too sparkly to see what's going on. But I'll figure it out. I'll see what's going on. Oh yeah, that's a Pegasus. Yep, that is a little Pegasus, and then we see a not just any old morph, an enchanted morph by Scott. Scott has been a huge proponent of Emerald Steel. Played it in almost every tournament since set 4, I want to say. On occasion, I've seen him play another deck, but he's an Emerald Steel master, as indicated by his results today. Gonna see that Pegasus go on a quest for diamonds, and then followed up with a Flynn Rider. Wow! Scott follows up with a turn 3 beast. What a power play. He inks a Clarabelle Clumsy Guest. So that may be a little indication of the kind of Emerald Steel deck that Scott is playing. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't get better than turn 3 Beast. Even a Diablo would be potentially answered by this Pegasus, but not the Beast. So we're just saying, let's just go on a quest and try to develop our board further. Alright, we see a Hidden Cove come down, and gonna go ahead and have a party at the Hidden Cove. Bring the Beast and the Robin Hood into the mix. Robin Hood's gonna challenge Flynn and discards a Pete, which I think makes a lot of sense. Alright, we see a Genie join the Crab and the Pegasus. And it looks like the Crab is going to challenge the Robin Hood. So the Robin Hood being a 3-3 is going to trade with the Crab. which then gives the Pegasus Challenger 3, and it's going to crash into the cove for 4. It doesn't answer the beast, but otherwise gets some damage on that cove, puts it within challenge range of Genie. Wow, now Scott has a second beast, and it looks like this one's going to sing, and along came Zeus on the Genie. And then along came Zeus. And Genie's now gone, doubling the beast counts, making it that much more difficult. Regis has to follow up Genie. But there's still need of an answer to these beasts, or else it potentially threatens Scott from running away with the game. Drawing 3 new cards. Wow. Alright, I'm back. Had to run and take care of something real quick, and it looks like things have only gotten more rough for Regis. We see a Diablo, Morph, and Pluto join the beasts. Yeah, and Regis has to pack them up. Double beast by turn 5 is very difficult for most decks to deal with, and ends up being especially difficult for Amethyst Emerald, especially. All right, while they're shuffling up for game 2, I just want to remind everybody about Camp Opportunity. We're here raising money for Camp Opportunity at the Lorcanathon benefit event. And we have some awesome cards to give away for people at home that want to help contribute. So we have Return to Hercules, Enchanted, and a prototype Control Your Temper from Disney Famous. This is the prototype of Lorcana. These cards were printed in 2021 for the game designers to playtest and pitch the game to Ravensburger. And so, yeah, these are like a piece of Lorcana history. If you've taken a look at the market on these, they're end up being pretty valuable just because they're so scarce and are, such a sought after collector card. Yeah, and they're just a unique piece of Lorcana history. So we have that and the Return of Hercules. So if you donate $20 or more, please let us know in the either chat or you can message me on Discord, Kurt Spiess. Let us know of your donation and we'll make sure you're in the drawing. It's going to happen on round 5. Alright, looks like our players are shuffled up and altering their hands for game 2. I'm going to take this time to push the stream a little bit more on the internet. All right, I am back with dealing with the internet, and looks like game two is going much differently than game one. Regis has been able to uh, get on the board with quite a lot of questers. Looks like Scott does, in fact, have the beast, but Regis was able to answer it with a crab fox combo. Out of questers, but certainly has a significant lore lead. And it looks like Scott's almost out of cards too. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Is the control your tempo art legal to play? I don't think so. These aren't real cards in the sense that they're printed by the designers of Ravensburger, or the designers of Lorcana, and were used to pitch the game to Ravensburger and to playtest the game before it came out. But they're not actually Lorcana cards in that sense. They're Disney famous cards technically. So I would suggest not playing these. But I think that if it's a casual tournament and nobody cares, then who cares? Awesome. Thank you so much, Sevi. I got your donation, and yeah, we'll enter you to the drawing. Thanks. Alright, looks like Regis was able to take that one. Sorry for keeping things quiet, just handling some of the logistics for some of the giveaways. Yeah, looks like we're going to go to game three in this showdown for the undefeated players. I believe there's three undefeated players currently, and we're hosting 5 rounds, and then all the prizes are going to be based on Swiss standings. To give us a little more time for each round to enjoy the day a little bit. Both Scott and Regis are 3-0, duking it out, going to game three to see who can be at the top of the standings going into the last rounds. All right, game 3 of round 4. Bunny JK, aka Scott, versus Jabba Blahut, aka Regis. Scott kicking it off with an enchanted Robin Hood into the inkwell and a pass. That ink is exerted. Nothing was played. I think we're gonna have to disqualify Scott here. Okay, going into the turn 2, Regis has the turn 1 play of Pegasus. Makes another Robin Hood and plays a Morph. Who needs Robin Hood when you have Morph? Morph could be anything. Could be a Robin Hood. Alright. An Ursula Deceiver sees Zeus, Tinkerbell, Pluto, and Clarabelle. That's a lot of bells that could be shifted. Looks like Morph's going to become a bell at some point in this game. Pegasus going to go ahead and gain a diamond while he can. And passes it on back to Scott. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, at the Lorcanathon for Camp Opportunity benefit event we're hosting in Baltimore. We've got 24 players here, maybe 22 left. I think a couple people left after they got mopped up. But yeah, we still got a lot of players here duking it out for a good cause. And we're streaming it out as well to hopefully raise some more money for Camp Opportunity as well. And in order to entice some donations, we have some really sweet cards we're giving away. Enchanted Return of Hercules and Disney famous Control Your Temper for anybody that donates $20 or more. And if you do donate to Camp Opportunity, please comment in the either the YouTube or Twitch chat, so you can send us a message, and that way we'll get your donation confirmed and get you into the giveaways. We see a beast come down, shifting on the morph. That was what got Scott the win in the first game. Looks like Regis has Kit, Ursula, and Pegasus, I believe. Try to turn that light down just a little bit. Cool, we're back, and there's a little bit less glare. Still a little bit, but fix it a little bit. Looks like Regis' turn 4 play was Iago. Not ideal necessarily, but does put significant pressure on the board in case Scott were feeling inclined to exert any of his characters. Alright, looks like another Iago is going to be joining the squad where his fallen friend was once at. Here comes one of those Tinkerbells that we saw earlier. Very much threatening to slow down Regis's board, threatening that shift with the morph. The morph ended up becoming a beast, which was a very powerful pivot by Scott, absolutely. And then, yeah, it looks like the Robin Hood and the Storm are going to finish off a couple more characters. Almost a sweeper, in a sense, by Scott. This is going to be tough to come back from, especially with that beast. But yeah, I completely agree with this. You gotta take out that beast. Yeah, and this is a pretty good follow up. Looks like Scott has a Clarabelle and not a lot else, but is able to shift that Robin Hood as well. That is going to be close to insurmountable from a board presence standpoint. I think this Tinkerbell is really making things pretty tough. Hey, what up, Garrick? Welcome to your lair, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
great to be here.
Yeah, welcome to the Lorcana lair at the Lorcana Lounge.
Yes, sir. Well, how is this going?
We're in game 3 now. The first 2 games were fairly lopsided, I'd say.
Yeah,
Game 1, Scott had turn 3 beasts, turn 5 beasts, and
it's pretty good.
that was a nasty combo for Regis to beat. And then game 2, Regis pretty much lost every character as he played it, but they all got a quest in, and eventually just got to 20 before Scott could really get anything going.
Okay, I can.
What are you trying to edit?
There's a way that I can pop this screen out. I just forget how to do it. That way we can like see it better.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let me Google it. Actually, I think I remember this. I think it's just this.
Nice. All right, Garrick is making things much easier for me back behind the booth. So thank you, Garrick.
And how much money is on Scott's side of the board? Is my question.
It's a lot, and really, what I want to know is how much that custom ink water bottle cost him.
True.
Because that's adds the value to the board for sure.
So what do we have on the side of Regis here? A goat? Is that a Peter Pan?
That's a great question. One's an Iago. I know that. Iago's holding a lot of damage, and then it looks like it was a goat and a Pegasus coming down to take out the Tinkerbell. I think you absolutely have to take out the Tinkerbell here. It's just otherwise going to be too difficult to get the board back into a winning position. Still a difficult spot, I would say, but I think that Regis is definitely maximizing what his deck is able to do. Neither player has cards, so Clarabelle is just chilling at the moment, being a big old 5/6 for 2 questing.
Yeah, still gotta love that. Maybe you crash in with the Diablo. You need to find something here to get you out of this sticky situation. I'm not sure what he has available in an Emerald Amethyst combo here to try and save you. Maybe a Crab Fox combination.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting a crab down means that you can take out the Clarabelle, which is going to be huge. So it's really just going to depend on what he drew for the turn, and if there's if there's any other options.
Oh, and that's game.
Ooh, and he only rips the Peter Pan, so he ends up conceding. Scott gets game 3.
Yeah, the songs corresponds. Okay, this is something interesting here. We see Regis pull out a bunch of different. These are Magic the Gathering cards. They are all the same card. They're all Regicide.
It looks
So
like,
everybody that beats him in a tournament, he has them sign a Regicide, and he puts it in his binder because his name is Regis.
and they committed regicide,
Yep,
regicide, if
exact
you will,
Regicide.
regicide. Very nice.
I've signed one of those. It is a great honor to do so. But he's filling it up slowly but surely. Not much today though. That was his first loss of the day.
Yeah, hopefully more slowly than surely for Regis's case. But yeah, he's been doing really well recently and is doing well today. Took a loss to Scott, but I think that matchup is honestly one of the harder ones for Regis.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that he took it to 3 games and was able to get up to 11 in game 3, that's huge.
Yeah. Especially with Scott's build, right? It has early game answers and it can go into mid and even late game really, really well.
Yeah,
It's
and
just hard.
we actually saw Regis play against another Emerald Steel deck earlier, where
Mm.
he was able to win using Kick Cloud Kicker, Elsa's to and Ursula Deceivers to control Logan's board.